Welcome to my channel. IIT Foundation in Maths for 6th class. Chapter 5th, Ratio and Proportion. Proportion is of two types, direct proportion and inverse proportion. Proportion ni Telugulo అనుపాతము అంటారు. అనుపాతము అంటే proportion. Proportion is called అనుపాతము. Direct proportion అంటే అనులోమ అనుపాతము. ఇన్వర్స్లీ ప్రపోర్షనల్ అంటే విలోమ అనుపాతం. అంటే ఆల్రెడీ తెలుగులో చదివిన వాళ్ళకు ఈ ఇంగ్లీష్ వర్డ్స్ ఒక మీనింగ్ తెలియడం కోసం తెలుగు చెప్తున్నాను. అంతేగాని ఇంకా మీద మీకు ఇంగ్లీష్ టర్మ్సే ఎక్కువగా అవసరం ఉంటాయి, తెలుగు వర్డ్స్ అవసరం ఉంటుంది. సో డైరెక్ట్ ప్రపోర్షన్ అంటే అనులోమ అనుపాతము, ఇన్వర్స్ ప్రపోర్షన్ అంటే విలోమ అనుపాతము. డైరెక్ట్ ప్రపోర్షన్ మీన్స్ if a quantity increases or decreases results in the increase or decrease of another quantity, then the two quantities are said to be in direct proportion. ఒక క్వాంటిటీని పెంచినప్పుడు లేదా తగ్గించినప్పుడు రెండో క్వాంటిటీ కూడా పెరగటము లేదా తగ్గటం జరిగితే ఆ రెండు క్వాంటిటీస్ డైరెక్ట్ ప్రపోర్షన్లో ఉన్నాయంటారు. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, suppose a car is moving with a speed of 20 kilometers per hour. So in 2 hours it travels a distance. In 1 hour it travels 20 kilometers. So in 2 hours it travels 40 kilometers. So distance traveled by it in 2 hours is 40 kilometers. Then the speed of the car is 20 kilometers per hour. Suppose the speed of the car is decreased for 10 kilometers per hour. Then in 2 hours, how much distance it travels? For 1 hour, it travels 10 kilometers. Therefore, for 2 hours, it travels 20 kilometers. So, when there is a decrease in the speed, this is the speed of the car. When there is a decrease in the speed, there is a decrease in the distance traveled by the car. Therefore, the ratio of the speed 20 is to 10, and the ratio of the distance traveled by it is 40 is to 20. These two are equal. 20 is to 10 is 2 is to 1, and 40 is to 2 is also 2 is to 1. 21 to 22, 2 is to 1. And so this type of relation is called direct proportion. When the speed decreases, the distance traveled by it in a certain time period is decreased. If the speed increases, the distance traveled also increases. So if there is an increase in one quantity, it results in increase in the other quantity. And there is a decrease in the first quantity, there will be a decrease in the second quantity. That type of relation is called direct relation, direct proportion. That relation is called direct proportion. Next, inverse proportion means, suppose a work is completed, some work is completed by 10 people in 2 days. If the number of people are decreased, suppose the people are decreased to 5 people. So if there are only 5 people, the work will be completed in 4 days. So when the number of people decreases, the number of days increases. Therefore, number of people and the number of days are inversely proportional to each other. That is, the ratio of the people is 10 is to 5, and the ratio of the days completed 2 is to 4, or this is equal to 1 is to 2. So 10 is to 5 is inversely proportional to 1 is to 2. And this relation is written as the ratio of the people 10 is to 5 and the number of days, ratio of the number of days completed, number of days in which the work is completed is 2:1, and that is written in inverse proportion, 1/2:1/1, or instead of 2:1 it is written as 1:2. So 10:5 is equal to here 2 days, and next if the people increases 4 days. Ten people completes a certain amount of work in 2 days. If the number of people are decreased to 5, the work completes in 4 days. It takes 4 days because 10 people will do in 2 days. If there are only half of the people, it takes more days, double the number of days. Therefore, the ratio of the people 10:5, and that is equal to 2:1. And the ratio of the time in which, or number of days in which the work is completed is 2:4. That is equal to 1:2. But this is inversely proportional to this, not directly proportional. If this is directly proportional to this, these two ratios are equal. As this is inversely proportional to that, this ratio, that is 2:1, is equal to inverse ratio of 1:2. Inverse ratio means their inverses are taken 1/1:1/2, or this is equal to 2:1. So this ratio is equal to inverse ratio of the other. That is, when the number of people decreases, the number of days in which the work completes increases. ఇక్కడ పని వాళ్ళ సంఖ్య తగ్గినప్పుడు నంబర్ ఆఫ్ డేస్ పెరుగుద్ది. పని వాళ్ళ సంఖ్య పెరిగినప్పుడు నంబర్ ఆఫ్ డేస్, అంటే ఒక క్వాంటిటీ పెరిగినప్పుడు రెండో క్వాంటిటీ తగ్గుతుంది, మొదటి క్వాంటిటీ తగ్గినప్పుడు రెండో క్వాంటిటీ పెరుగుతుంది. దాన్ని ఇన్వర్స్ ప్రపోర్షన్ అంటారు. అట్లా కాకుండా మొదటిది పెరిగినప్పుడు రెండోది కూడా పెరిగి, మొదటిది తగ్గినప్పుడు రెండోది కూడా తగ్గితే దాన్ని డైరెక్ట్ ప్రపోర్షన్ అంటారు. ఇప్పుడు కార్ స్పీడ్ పెరిగితే డిస్టెన్స్ ట్రావెల్డ్ కూడా పెరుగుతుంది అనమాట. కార్ స్పీడ్ తగ్గితే డిస్టెన్స్ ట్రావెల్డ్ కూడా తగ్గుతుంది. అప్పుడు కార్ స్పీడు డిస్టెన్స్ ట్రావెల్డ్ అనేవి డైరెక్ట్ ప్రపోర్షన్లో ఉంటాయి. ఇది డైరెక్ట్ ప్రపోర్షన్, ఇన్వర్స్ ప్రపోర్షన్ అంటే అదనమాట. ఫస్ట్ టెస్ట్ యువర్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ మీద వెరీ షార్ట్ ఆన్సర్ టైప్ క్వశ్చన్స్. అందులో ఫస్ట్ది, ఏ కంపారిజన్ బిట్వీన్ టూ క్వాంటిటీస్ which is of the same kind and expressed in the same unit is called the, a comparison of two quantities of the same type and expressed in the same units is called the ratio. Is called the ratio. Next, the simplest form of 8:12 is dash. 8 and 12 both are divided by 2 or something. So we will find the HCF of 8 and 12, highest common factor. 8 and 12 both are divisible by 4. So 4 2s, 8 4 3s. Therefore these two are not divisible by any common number. Therefore 4 is the highest common factor of 8 and 12. Therefore if we divide this ratio by 8, each of the term by 4, we get 2:3. Therefore the simplest form of 8:12 is equal to 2:3. Next, the ratio of 15 centimeters to 12 centimeter is dash. 15 centimeter is to 12 centimeter. So centimeter is common, therefore we will cancel it and find the highest common factor of 15 and 12. Both are divisible by 3. 3 5s 15, 3 4s. These two are not divisible by any common number. Therefore HCF, highest common factor of 15 and 12 is 3. Therefore dividing 15 and 12 by 3, we get 3 5s 15, 3 4s 12. Therefore the ratio of 15 centimeters to 12 centimeters is 5:4. Next, fourth problem. Consider the ratio 2:3. The consequent and antecedent are doubled and tripled respectively. The resultant ratio is dash. The consequent is doubled and the antecedent is tripled. But the consequent means the second one. In a ratio of 2, the first term is called the antecedent and the second term is called the consequent. Here consequent is doubled. 3 is consequent, it is doubled. So it is made equal to 6. And the antecedent, that is 2, it is tripled. 2 is tripled 3 times. It is 6. Therefore the ratio becomes 6:6. That is equal to 1:1. Next, the ratio of 3 square is to 3 to the power of 0. 3 square is 9. We know 3 square means 3 into 3. And 3 to the power of 0 is 1. Any non-zero number is raised to a power 0, it is equal to 1. Therefore, this is 9:1.